Hi everyone, this is James from MTG Crown, and today I'm going to talk about a deck which I'm really excited about, and that's Standard Collected Company Elves. This deck was a bit of a thing when Magic Origins came out, but now we're going to look at what Oath of the Gatewatch can do for this deck. So the basic idea behind this deck is that we get a lot of elves out onto the field and use their overwhelming numbers to completely destroy our enemies. So I'm going to go through the creatures in terms of 1, 2 and 3 plus drops, and then I'm going to look at the non-creature spells afterwards. I'm finally going to finish off the land base. It's a little bit more complicated as we're running 3 colours. So we start with our 1-drop creatures. So on the left here we have Thornbow Archer. So it's a 1/2 for 1 black, and whenever it attacks an opponent, each opponent who doesn't control an elf loses 1 life. So that's very good. Often can get 2 damage in on turn 2, so that's very good. The other 1-drop we have is Gnarlroot Trapper. So for 1 black, you can tap it to pay 1 life and add 1 green to your mana pool, but you can only use that green to cast an elf creature spell. So if we play this turn 1, we could potentially have 3 mana available turn 2 to cast our elves. The other very interesting ability on it is that you can tap it to give target attacking elf you control Death Touch. So this means that, for example, a Thornbow Archer could take down a Siege Rhino because of the Death Touch. So they were our 1-drops, now let's move on to our 2-drops. So this is where things start to get a little bit more complicated. So we start with a playset of Dwinnen's Elite. So this is a 2-drop, 2 power, which is good. However, when it enters the battlefield, if you control another elf, you get another 1/1 elf token out. So best case scenario, this is a 3/3 for 2, so that's really good for us. Next we have Elvish Visionary. Even though this is a 1/1 for 2, when we play it, it allows us to draw a card. So the drawing a card is good because we want to keep momentum going for our deck drawing cards, otherwise we run out of cards very quickly. We have 3 copies of Leaf Gilder. So this is a 2/1 for 2, which is okay, but we can tap it to add a green mana to our mana pool. It's not as good as Elvish Mystic, but it's all we've got at the moment, and the 2 power makes it a little bit formidable later on. Finally we have our addition from Oath of the Gatewatch, which is Sylvan Advocate. So it starts off as a 2/3 for 2 with Vigilance, which is great. However, if you control 6 more lands, it gets +2/+2, and land creatures you control get +2/+2 as well. This ability will get more relevant as the game goes on. We have some man lands in our deck as well, which means that the man lands themselves will get a +2/+2 buff as well. So Sylvan Advocate is very, very good. We now move on to our 3-drop plus creatures. So we start off with a playset of Shaman of the Pack. So Shaman of the Pack is a 3/2 for free, which isn't bad. However, when it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to the number of elves you control. Say we play this turn 3, we might have had 5 elves out before at this point. So if we do that, we can deal 5 damage straight to their life total, which is fantastic. Obviously, the later you play this, the more elves you have, the more damage it does, and in multiples it gets ridiculous. We have 3 copies of Nissa Vastwood Seer. Why do we have this? Really, it's a 2/2 for free, but it thins our deck by pulling out a forest. And if we ever do get to that situation where we have 7 or more lands, we do get to exile this and turn it into a planeswalker. But mainly we're playing it just because it's a good elf creature. Finally, we have our only creature in the deck which isn't a 3-drop or less. That's Dwinnen Guiltleaf Dean. We have this as sort of an alternative win condition. Pumps our elves, it gives them all +1/+1. It's a 3/4 of reach, which is good, and when it attacks you get 1 life for each attacking elf you control. So that can just help restabilize later on. We're going to move on to non-creature spells. So this is a Collected Company deck, so we have 4 copies of Collected Company. So for 4 mana at instant speed, you can look at the top 6 cards of your library and put up to 2 creature cards you'll convert to mana cost 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Most of our creatures, bar 2, are converted mana cost 3 or less, so we can get lots and lots of good targets of Collected Company. This helps our massive army of elves flood the board very quickly. We also play a playset of Atarka's Command. So this is good for us. All modes are relevant, so your opponents can't gain life this turn, really good against these life gain decks. Atarka's Command deals 3 damage to each opponent, good, just a quick burn to the face. Put an extra land card down, could be useful, but not really bothered. Last one here is creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn in game reach. So big blowout attack with 6 elves, they all get +1/+1, so it's +6 damage, and you deal 3 damage to the face, so that's additional 9 damage from Atarka's Command. So that was the deck in its entirety. So the land base is a little bit more complicated. We play 8 fetch lands, a Cinderglade and a Smouldering Marsh to give us a really good range of mana fixing. And then if we look at the next slide, we then have 2 Hissing Quagmire, which is our man lands, and then we just have some basic lands. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you disliked it, dislike it. Please comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for even more deck techs coming up. Thanks very much.